I made up my mind at the front door to get a divorce immediately from my husband. Then, with great force, I opened the front door.
Whoa, you scared me.
My husband, David, ended his call in a hurry.
Welcome home. You're home early today.
Yes, I'm back. Your ATM is back home now.
What do you mean?
My husband's face is completely pale. I heard about everything what you were talking about just now. So let's just quickly get a divorce, okay? My name is Natalie. It's been 4 years now since I married my husband, David. But I would learn the shocking truth about my husband. I would ask myself what I saw in my husband over the past 4 years being married to him. But there is no point in regretting what had already happened in the past. All I can do at this point is to just move on. The story goes back a few years. My husband was a regular customer at one of my favorite bars. So that is where I first met my husband, and we hit it off very well. And my husband was being flirty with me, and we had a great time drinking together. But at the time, I didn't really see him as a romantic partner. The reason for this was because we had 8 years of age difference, and David was younger than me. I was still single, and I was over 40 and had zero desire to get married. But I still wanted to have kids, even though I didn't really see myself getting married.
Natalie, are you seriously single?
Well, you're so quick to get that information. That bar manager must have talked about me, huh?
Are you maybe a divorcee?
Nope, I'm not even a divorcee.
Are you serious? If you're that beautiful, no man would ever leave you alone, right?
Oh, David, you really have no clue, huh? You're too young. You know, men don't want a hardworking, independent woman like me as his wife because they'd feel inferior.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. That's the reason why I haven't been able to get married in the past, too. I've been asked to be a stay-at-home mom and do the house chores once I become the wife. But marriage is not for me. I'm sure there are many couples who help each other out even after they get married, but I didn't meet anyone like that.
I see. Well, I don't know what to say, but sorry to hear that, and good job for trying.
Oh, come on, don't pity me. I love my life, you know.
That's good then. Well, let's toast for that and drink a lot tonight.
Like that, we became friends and started drinking together. I think that went on for about 3 months. And out of the blue, David asked me to marry him.
Hey, Natalie, will you marry me?
Huh? What did you just say? I accidentally spat out the beer I was just drinking.
Whoa, it got on me.
I'm sorry.
Well, you know, we're having so much fun drinking together, right? So, don't you think it would be even more fun if we got married?
Well, not really. I didn't think of us like that.
Oh, does that mean you weren't really seeing me as a man?
No. Of course I recognize that you're a man, but I'm just saying that I didn't see you as someone who I'd have romantic feelings for, you know? You're just a fun drinking buddy.
Oh, is that so? But I saw you as a woman with romantic feelings from the beginning, Natalie.
What? Really?
Yeah. I always thought how fun it would be if I could marry a person like you, Natalie.
Oh, is that so? Well, thank you for thinking that.
Despite how I look, I'm a good cook, you know. I'm also pretty good at doing house chores.
Well, that's something new.
You think so? Even men do house chores nowadays.
Oh, really?
Yup, they do. I think I'm a pretty good choice for you. Natalie, you can just focus on your work, and I'll take care of the house chores. I'll cook delicious meals and clean up around the house really nicely. On top of that, you'll have a fun person to talk to who you can also drink with.
Come to think of it, that doesn't sound so bad. David is not at all like the other people who have asked me to marry them. And that's great. He's going to take care of the house for me. Oh, no. I should be a little more logical here. I'm not even in a relationship with David, and he already asked me to marry him. This could be a risky issue. Look, with everything that you said, I'm very happy, but you and I have never been in a relationship before. And if you're just asking me to go out first, that's understandable. But asking me to get married right away is just... Well, it's also really nice of you to ask such a thing to an old lady who is 8 years older than you, but asking for marriage all of a sudden is...
Oh, really? Nowadays, it's not unusual for people to get married after 0 days of dating. Didn't this also happen a while ago with some celebrities?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know much about the celebrities world.
Let's just get married. Marriage is all about finding a partner. I think I'd make a pretty good partner, don't you think?
But I'm 8 years older than you. Won't you think that would be an issue?
Huh? Natalie, if there were 50 $1 notes and 58 $1 notes on the table, would you be able to tell which was which?
No, I don't think so.
Then the concept is exactly the same like that. You may be concerned about the age difference now, but when you're 58, I'm 50, right? So there's not much difference if you think it that way.
I see David's point. So I accepted his marriage. To be honest, this all happened because I was earning money without any issues, and I thought that it would be easy to just get divorced if we didn't work out. I enjoyed drinking with David so much that I even felt like it would be normal for us to live together. And so, my husband came to live with me in the house which I owned once we got married. My husband really took charge of the house and did a lot of things for me.
Welcome home, Natalie. It's beef stew today.
I'm home. Wow, I can even smell how good it is from outside the house. Thank you.
Shall we open a bottle of white wine today?
Sounds good. All of my husband's dishes are all fancy and really delicious.
Natalie, I ironed your shirt for you.
Thank you. My life became a lot easier after I married my husband. But one day a little incident happened. I'm home.
Oh, Natalie, welcome home. I cooked pasta for dinner.
Thanks. Oh, you look a little down today? Did something happen at work?
Yeah, I'm actually being bullied from my boss.
What? My husband looked a little depressed.
It's happened many times before, but I feel like I'm losing my mind.
From what I heard, David's boss has been harassing him endlessly, forcing him to do jobs which David wasn't even hired to do. And then I said something which I shouldn't have. Looking back now, I realized that my husband had tricked me into saying that. You should just quit if they're treating you like that.
What? But...
You won't be able to go on if you keep going like that.
Yeah.
It's okay. I am earning money. As long as it's okay with you, I wouldn't really mind if you just become a full-time house husband.
Are you sure about that?
Of course. Actually, thank you so much for taking care of the house even while you were working. I'll give you money for living expenses, of course, and I'll even give you some allowances for you to spend as you like.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, David. I'm sorry I didn't realize it sooner. So, my husband quit his job and became a full-time house husband. I never let my husband, who originally took care of the house, pay for our living expenses. It's only natural to do so since he takes care of the house for me. When my husband quit his job, our life did not become difficult. I can easily earn enough money to pay for my husband's allowance. And my husband continued to take good care of the house. I was relieved that David was free from his job and he seemed to be energetic. After 4 years of such peaceful marriage, I somewhat felt that something strange was going on.
Welcome back. Today's dinner is beef stew.
Thank you. Oh, I love your beef stew, David. Thank you so much for everything. Bon appetit. Oh, it tastes a little different from the usual one I had before. Did he make a mistake? I mean, it does taste good, don't get me wrong, but how shall I explain it? It's clearly a different type of beef stew.
How is it? Is it yummy?
Yeah, thanks as always.
Oh, that's a relief. I spent more time on it than usual today.
Oh, so that means that he overcooked it. But the texture is pretty harder than usual though. And after that day, my husband's meals had flavors which I have never tasted before from his cooking. Hey, David, you did get a health checkup this year, right?
Yeah, the one where I can get since your company sponsors them as your benefit, right? I went to that last month.
That's what I thought. Were there any issues?
No, there weren't any issues. I showed you my results the other day.
Yeah.
What? Are you worried about me?
My husband sounded like he was in a good mood, but something was different. I guess I must have had a woman's intuition even for someone like me. I took time out of my work schedule to find an investigator and asked them to investigate about my husband. And as a result, I discovered that my husband was cheating on me. But for some reason, I wasn't shocked at all. Maybe somewhere in the back of my mind I had thought that one day, this day might come. David's mistress was a woman in her early 20s. My husband is having an affair with a girl who is more than 20 years younger than me. I guess men really are attracted to younger women. So thinking that, rather than being shocked, I thought to myself that that's just the way it is. Although I found out the truth, I didn't immediately think about divorcing David. It's not like I asked the investigator to investigate about David just because I wanted to get a divorce, but I just didn't want to stay feeling uneasy with my husband. My husband has been very devoted to me so far, and he was doing his job to the best of his ability. If David just had an affair on a whim, I wasn't going to expose him and say nothing and wait for things to cool down. But I was still a little sad and depressed about the fact that David did have an affair. I went home early that day. Just as I was about to insert the key to the front door, I heard my husband's loud laughter.
It's okay. I can go see you now.
My husband seemed to be on the phone with his mistress. What a great timing, huh?
It's okay. Don't worry about money. My ATM will take care of it.
What did he say just now?
Exactly. My wife's nickname is ATM. I only married ATM just for the money. Otherwise, I wouldn't have married that old hag. What? Cooking? Oh, it's fine. I've been preparing the pre-packaged meals recently nowadays. So I have enough time.
Oh, so that's how it is, huh? I guess my husband only saw me as money from the beginning. All of my husband's meals were delicious, but if he asked me whether I want to eat it, even if he treats me like an ATM, I don't want to eat it at all. And it seems like he's been only preparing pre-packaged meals. Even I can prepare that for myself. I made up my mind at the front door to get a divorce immediately from my husband. Then, with great force, I opened the front door.
Whoa! You scared me.
My husband, David, ended his call in a hurry.
Welcome home. You're home early today.
Yes, I'm back. Your ATM is back home now.
What do you mean?
My husband's face is completely pale. I heard about everything what you were talking about just now. So, let's just quickly get a divorce, okay?
What? Oh, come on, that was just a joke.
A joke? When you're having an affair behind my back?
No. There's no way I'm having an affair. I was just joking around with my friends who are all guys.
Then what is this? I put the documents, which show the results from the investigation agency. My husband picked it up, looked at what it was, and immediately slammed down the documents on the table.
Well...
Yes, you've been cheating on me. If it was just a fling, I wouldn't have said anything. But I'm not that carefree enough to stay with you when you just treat me like an ATM. Well, I am no longer obligated to support you. Then, my husband became defiant.
Divorce, huh? You sure about that? Natalie, if we get a divorce, you'll forever be alone, you know. What are you going to do? Like, when you get older and you age, someone has to look after you.
I don't think you take care of me nicely. I mean, you're going to poison me and take my money, aren't you? David doesn't even try to deny the fact, so that's exactly what he was trying to do. I really couldn't believe him.
Oh man, so that means I really can't get your money, huh, Natalie? Then fine, we can get a divorce. I also have a girlfriend who claims to be the daughter of a wealthy family who at least makes more money than you, Natalie.
What? I thought you were having an affair with only one woman, right?
Wow, the investigator who you asked for to check up on me did a really crap job on investigating about me. How could they only find that I had an affair with one woman? Oh well, just leave, okay?
Okay. Is that what you think I would say? When this is my house? You should be the one to leave, okay?
Huh? Since we're a married couple, we share properties, you know. Even this house, I'm entitled to half of it.
How ignorant are you? Well, we need a lawyer in between to discuss about this. So let's discuss this on another day.
Just get out of here.
So I just left the house as soon as possible once I got some of my things. By how my husband was acting around, it looks like he would never leave the house. There was no point in talking with him. Even though I was being kicked out, this will all be settled under the law. When I returned to the house a few days later, accompanied by a lawyer, my husband looked really surprised. David probably really didn't think that a lawyer would really come.
You! Don't be a coward and bring in the lawyer here.
I will, because this is my house. I won't allow you to illegally occupy it. This house is in my name, so you'll definitely lose. It's going to cost a lot of money, you know. When my husband heard that it would cost a lot of money, he accepted to move out of the house and packed up his belongings and left in about 3 days. Later, the divorce was successfully finalized, but my ex-husband was still being obsessed with money. He wanted only one thing. He wanted half of my property. But when it was discovered that my ex-husband had been having an affair with 3 women and that I told him that I would request alimony, he got quiet instantly. In the end, it was settled that the common property for the 4 years of the marriage was to be cancelled off with the alimony. At that time, my ex-husband spoke highly of the wealthy young lady who was his main love out of the 3 women, and boldly said that he would never run out of money. David only spoke about money until the very end. A month later, as I was regaining my peace and quiet, I received a phone call from David.
Natalie, I'm really sorry.
Oh, so you're apologizing to me now? What happened?
That woman was a fraud.
Huh?
You know, the woman with the wealthy family.
Oh, okay. And? Did she take all your money?
Yes, exactly. She asked me if I wanted to get in on her dad's investment. So I gave her all the money I'd saved during the years I worked. She told me I'd make a lot of money.
You're such an idiot.
Natalie, please help me. I really don't have any money anymore.
Well then, have a nice life. Goodbye, I'm gonna block you. I then hung up the phone and blocked my ex-husband's contact information. Later, my ex-husband was seen by the manager of the bar I used to go to, and it looked like David was waiting in line for a bus to the factory with a group of people. I'm sure David's working with them. He's getting old, so I'm sure no one takes him seriously anymore. David is a good cook, so I'm sure he could make a good living if he became a housekeeper or something like that. But I guess he'll understand these things on his own in his own time. I am currently focusing solely on my job because of what had happened with my ex-husband. David mentioned about how I'd feel after retirement, but I'll be fine. I'll be well on my own. I'm planning to save up and go into a nursing care when I get older. It is okay for everyone to have a different path in life. I will live my life the way I want to. A marriage after 0 days in a relationship, what a challenger, huh? But I guess Natalie was able to do that because she had enough money. I hope Natalie's life from now on will be prosperous. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.
Shut the hell up! You're such an annoying woman. How can I even eat this crappy lunch?
My son Kyle shouts at me like that and trashes the lunch which I prepared for him that day.
It's your fault for not making good lunches. You're useless.
Oh, I can't take it anymore. Let's get a divorce.
I'll be glad to. Now, get the hell out of here.
But a few minutes later, the two of them would be crying to me. My name is Christy. I am a housewife living with my husband Damien and our son Kyle, who is in the 8th grade. My husband and I have not been blessed with kids, but after being patient, finally we were blessed with Kyle. I have loved my son since he was a baby, and Kyle was the apple of my eye. But recently, Kyle is in the height of his rebellious phase. Kyle, hurry up and take a bath.
Shut up, you old hag. You're supposed to keep the tub hot for me so that I can get in on my own time.
Kyle, honey, get up early and go to school.
It seems like you haven't cleaned my room at all. What the heck is going on? You better get it done by the time I get back.
Oh, Kyle, if you're not busy, please help me a little, honey.
Shut up and just go get me some juice.
Like that, Kyle's outbursts towards me were terrible. Plus, he treats me like his servant and blames me when I didn't do it for him. And the other day, I found out that he was taking money from my wallet without my permission. When I questioned him about it, Kyle didn't seem offended and said,
"All you can do for me is give me money anyways."
At first, I tolerated him, thinking that he was just going through puberty as he is in 8th grade. But as I have watched his recent behavior and how he treats me, his own mother, I have come to realize that I can no longer let that slide as his puberty. I wondered what to do, and when I asked Damien about it, he replied,
"Kyle's bad attitude is because of your bad education. You're a housewife, but you can't even do proper house chores or raise a child."
And like that, I was blamed by Damien as well. Kyle's behavior and Damien's constant blame towards me were becoming more and more frustrating. Was it my fault that I didn't raise Kyle properly? Was it because of his puberty? Is there anything I can do to solve this? One day while I was thinking to myself like this, an incident occurred. I wake up early every morning just to make lunch for Kyle. Some days he doesn't go to school recently, but I don't know how Kyle is feeling and what he's in the mood for, so I do my best to wake up early every day. But
I don't want this lunch. It doesn't taste good. If you're going to make lunch, make it better.
Kyle then took the lunch that I just finished making and turned the lunchbox upside down in front of me. Then the lunch that I made went right into the trash. I could do nothing but be shocked about what had happened.
Finally, I won't have to eat a bad lunch anymore. Well, I'll take some money for lunch money.
Kyle said that as he pulls the bills out of my wallet and tossed back the wallet to me. I clutched the wallet tightly in my hand, unable to find anything to say back to him. Then, Kyle left the house. Even though I was standing right beside him, Damien didn't say anything. In times like this, a father should speak up.
It's your fault for not making a good lunch for Kyle. So a lunch that doesn't taste good deserves to be thrown away.
I wouldn't want to eat it either. Even when I tell Damien to scold Kyle, he blames me for everything.
You can't even clean up or do laundry well, but we still put up with you. Can't you at least try to be a better cook? Don't you think you should put yourself in our shoes, who has to eat these meals which tastes horrible every day?
As Damien said that, he quickly left the house. The breakfast I had prepared for Damien and Kyle was left on the dining table untouched. And in the trash was the lunch that I had woken up early to prepare. Ever since I was a child, I was taught not to waste food. That's why I could never understand the behavior of not eating prepared meals or throwing any food away. When we first got married, Damien used to eat my home-cooked meals, saying that they were delicious. Until recently, Kyle told me that he loved my Salisbury steak. It was not that my cooking was particularly bad, but I could only think that both Damien and Kyle was harassing me or trying to bully me. Kyle and Damien's terrible attitudes towards me ran through my mind. I sigh loudly and take out a sheet of paper that I had tucked away in a drawer. It was the divorce papers that I had secretly tucked away, as I thought that I'd have it just in case if anything happens. I've had enough and I couldn't stand it anymore. Maybe they would be better off without me. With these feelings, I filled out the divorce papers. When Damien and Kyle returned home, I spread out the signed divorce papers on the table. I've just had enough at this point, so let's get a divorce.
Oh yay, I'm so happy. Just get out.
Hearing me asking for divorce, Kyle says this happily.
I'm so glad I'm divorcing a wife who can't even do her own house chores, even when the housekeepers can do a good job about it.
Damien said that and also filled out the divorce papers quickly. Kyle looked at me with a gloomy expression on his face and said,
Get out of here right now.
All right, I'm leaving this house, and you two can do the rest on your own.
Well, yeah, because this is my house. So you can go wherever you want. Kyle and I were both men, so it's easier for us to be alone.
Saying this, Damien patted Kyle on the shoulder, and then Kyle began to tremble. Then Kyle said something unbelievable.
I knew you cared more about your partner who you're cheating on with than us. That's why you're leaving us, isn't it?
Kyle's words startled me and I stopped moving for a moment.
You're having an affair, aren't you, Mom? So I felt like I was betrayed and abandoned and I couldn't forgive you.
So, Kyle mistakenly thought that I was cheating on Damien and that I was betraying my family. It wasn't puberty that was causing him to suddenly lash out at me and be so arrogant and having a terrible attitude like that. But I've never cheated, or I'm not cheating with anyone behind Damien's back. Kyle, why did you even think that? Besides, it's not me who is having an affair, but it's your father. When I said that, Kyle froze, saying, What? And Damien looked like he was panicking, not knowing what to do.
What are you saying, Christy? There is no such thing that I cheat on you, and it's all a false accusation.
Then I'll show you the proof. I took out a cardboard box from our bedroom and spread it out on the table. In it was a necktie which I didn't remember buying, a hotel membership card I've never heard of, a woman's handkerchief which I don't even recognize, and a shirt with lipstick on it. Damien had been acting weird and a little off for some time, taking his phone into the bathroom and bathtub, and he also smelled like he was wearing a woman's perfume on the days he came home late. So, I had asked an investigator to investigate about Damien with divorce in my mind. My hunch was right, and the results showed that Damien was having an affair behind my back.
What kind of evidence is this? You can make these things up, you know.
Damien refused to accept the evidence I showed him, so I confronted him with a definite proof. Are you saying that what you see in this photo is also made up? The photo showed Damien and a woman who worked under him walking arm in arm.
It's not that I was cheating on you.
You filled out the divorce papers really quickly because you thought you could remarry that woman anyway, right? As I turned to Damien and said this, Kyle murmured in a small voice saying,
You've got to be kidding me, right? What you told me was a complete lie, Dad. Because you're the one who told me that Mom was the one having an affair. That's because...
As Kyle shouts at Damien, he became smaller and smaller. Damien had once been scolded by Kyle for treating me like a servant and verbally abusing me badly.
You're being terrible to Mom, Dad.
In order to get Kyle, who defended me, onto Damien's side, he lied to Kyle that I was having an affair. And Kyle unfortunately believed that lie, felt betrayed by me, and began to behave badly. Not only did you trick me, but you tricked our son as well. You are not only a lousy husband, but also a lousy father.
Christy and Kyle, I am so sorry.
We shall just discuss everything through a lawyer now. I am no longer interested in having any conversation with you. I am leaving now. I ignore and shake off Damien's attempts to hang on to me and gather my things to leave the house. Then, Kyle opens the bedroom door apologetically and walks in.
I'm sorry, Mom. I know you may not forgive me, but I'm really sorry, Mom.
Toward the end, Kyle was at a loss for words, and I knew that he was crying. After so much verbal abuse I received from Kyle, I honestly don't think that I could forgive Kyle so easily. But when I saw my son's tears, I couldn't leave him just like that. Kyle, I'm thinking of going back to my parents' house. Would you also like to come too, Kyle?
I'm really sorry, Mom.
Thank you.
I will go with you.
Kyle apologized to me again and started to pack his things in his room. Kyle and I finished preparing to leave the house and declared to Damien that we were leaving. I'm going to charge you alimony, definitely. Of course, I will also charge the person with whom you had an affair, so please keep that in mind.
No way. If we discuss about it, you'll understand. Right, Kyle? You're always on my side, right? I can't believe you could say such thing when you were the one who lied to me. You really let me down.
Kyle and I left the house together while ignoring Damien. Kyle seemed a little concerned about Damien, but when I started to walk away, he followed right behind me. I went straight home to my parents' house and explained the situation to them, and they gladly welcomed me and Kyle. After returning home, Kyle changed his attitude from how he was before and began to help out willingly. He takes the initiative to do everything from cleaning the bathroom to shopping, not to mention cleaning and doing laundry, even without being asked. My parents live at home and are pretty old, so Kyle's help is a big help to them. They were happy to know that Kyle was growing up to be a good son. Kyle is a good son, and since coming back to my parents' house, Kyle seems to be back to who he was before. The grudges I had towards Kyle had gradually disappeared, and our conversations have increased. But there is one thing that has been traumatic for me. It was the incident when Kyle threw away the lunch right in front of me. No matter how hard I watched Kyle work, I couldn't bring myself to make him lunch because I still clearly remembered what happened that day. I guess Kyle knew and felt that too, because he never asked me to make him lunch. But Kyle's allowance was not enough to cover the cost of lunch. So, Kyle began waking up early and started to make his own lunch. Although he wasn't really used to it, he stood in the kitchen and cut vegetables. Seeing Kyle like that, the trauma in my heart gradually faded away. One day, Kyle told me that he had cooked scrambled eggs and left some for leftovers. I was curious and tried some of the leftovers. It tasted very salty, as if he put too much salt and pepper. I wonder if Kyle always eats salty scrambled eggs. It made me smile to think of Kyle trying his best to make his lunch every day, even though he was not used to it. Even though Damien had lied to him and he was tricked by Damien, I still would not be able to easily forgive Kyle for what he did. That's what I thought. But when I see Kyle working so hard on his own to help out, I can feel that he's making an effort to win my trust. Tears began to well up as I ate the salty scrambled eggs. Kyle was the one I had waited for so long to come into the world as my child. The son whom I had loved so much since he was a little baby boy, as he was the apple of my eye. I thought I might never be able to forgive him again after everything he has said and done to me. But after all, Kyle is my beloved son. I vowed to let bygones be bygones and face Kyle again. From that day on, my relationship with Kyle began to change for the better. I received the alimony from Damien and his mistress, and we divorced. With my savings, we moved into an apartment near my parents' house where we could live together as a family of 2. I had been a nurse before my marriage, so I had no trouble getting back to work. When I started looking for work, the hospital manager where I had previously worked immediately called me. I was to work as a full-time nurse, and naturally, I would have to work the night shift on some days. But I never felt burdened because Kyle willingly volunteered to do the house chores. By the time Kyle became a high school student, we had grown very close. I even felt that we were closer than before Kyle's rebellion began. The 2 of us often go shopping together, and Kyle quickly carries the shopping bags for me without saying a word. One day, as the 2 of us were going out shopping as usual, I saw Damien on a sidewalk. Damien looked really dirty, and it looked like he was homeless, rummaging through a trash can. According to what my lawyer told me, Damien had had quite a hard time paying his alimony after our divorce. Still, he somehow paid the alimony, thinking that if he paid it, he could finally be with his mistress. But later on, when I demanded alimony from Damien's mistress as well, they ended up breaking up. Damien was fired from his job because his mistress told everyone in the company that Damien had forced himself onto her. Seeing Damien being like that, it didn't really make me sad at all. He got what he deserves. I muttered to myself, and Kyle turned to me and asked,
Mom, what's wrong?
Kyle didn't seem to notice Damien. Even though we were divorced, Damien was still Kyle's father. But Damien tried to tear Kyle and I apart with his stupid lies. Now that we are divorced, we are a family, just the 2 of us. I thought about it a lot, but in the end, I didn't tell Kyle about Damien. Oh no, it's nothing. Anyways, what do you want to eat tonight for dinner?
Salisbury steak. I really love how you make it, so I want to know how you make it, Mom. Please teach me today.
Sure. I'm looking forward to the day I get to eat one of your delicious Salisbury steak, Kyle. Pretending not to have seen Damien, Kyle and I went into the shopping center together happily. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in our next video.